one side myself, and I was coming together with some of the similarities. My mom's dead, like Batman's mom is dead. We both wear black, but for different reasons. He wears black to instill fear in his enemies. I wear black because I'm afraid of how I actually look in the mirror. And we both drive a black car that was damaged by some fucking joker, but instead of mine, like, transforming into an awesome vehicle, I have a giant dent and I'm just sad all the time now. But I have a Batman hoodie, actually, not just this one, but it has ears on the top. I was wearing it as I was leaving work, and this lady said loud enough so I could hear to her husband as I put it on, leaving from work. She goes, "Look, some people just never grow up. They never grow up ever." And I look at her and she's wearing a cross, and I'm like, this is kind of like, I mean, this is a little ridiculous here. You're like, really? Like, I mean, we both wear something that, you know, it's a geometrical shape. It's symmetrical on both sides. I mean, I think the bat symbol's a little more, you know, aesthetically pleasing than a cross, don't you guys? Like, I mean, it has more points to it. And I've read all of his books, unlike what she said. She's read all of Jesus's books. But, you know, WWBWD, what would Bruce Wayne do? But, all right, let's go into the actual material now. So can we got all fucking nerds here because you guys actually came out. Who was the worst superhero? Who would you say is hands down worst superhero? I'm just curious. Batman? Thank you. Yeah. I would have to disagree, of course. I think that Captain America has to be hands down the worst superhero. Yeah. Here's why. He's very American, I'll give him that, because he takes steroids. Performance-enhancing drugs. This is the entire story of Captain America. I'm just a little guy, and I just wanted to fight. Then the doctors gave me a shot, and now I can't get drunk. And I was frozen in time, and now no one listens to swing music, and it makes me sad. I'm a little biased, though, because when the only Captain America album, what the fuck am I saying? Yeah, he had a great fucking album. The only Captain America comic book I ever read, I got from a doctor's office. So he was fighting the personification of asthma, like a big asthma monster. And even at 6 years old, I was like, you know, this Captain America really needs more tangible villains. This is bullshit. Let's see, I'll close on something here. That was the light, right? That you gave me? Oh, okay, yeah, I was about to say, I was like, that was quick. Fuck. Yeah, good stuff. No, I realized something, like everyone my age, like, nostalgia is a big thing, obviously, and it's not something to cling to. It really isn't. And I'll give you a good example. My favorite movie from when I was a child, it was called Surf Ninjas, and there was a guy in that movie. He had red hair, is my memory of him. But I remember he was like, everything he said was hilarious, and I was like, I want to be like that guy. That's the guy I want to be when I grow up. I looked that up on IMDb now. It's Rob Schneider. Nostalgia will blind you guys. Don't follow it. You guys play Super Nintendo back in the day? You remember, like, every time a movie came out, it didn't matter how terrible the movie was, there was a game that followed, you know? My favorite was What's Eating Gilbert Grape, the game. Did anybody get to play that one? That's pretty awesome. There's a bonus level where you drive through an empty town and you get his mom's diabetes medication. It didn't have any like enemies, just personal demons, and it was fun. It was depressing, but you know we didn't have Xbox One back then. You know, we had to make do with our depressing games. Let's see here. I mentioned my mom was dead earlier, so that's fun. It's funny. Did anyone see the new Star Wars? Anyone enjoy the new Star Wars? Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad Star Wars is still about dead parents, you know, keep the motifs going. It's funny though, because I really hadn't been this excited for a new Star Wars movie since my mom had died. And she died back in 2002, and the Star Wars movie that came out then was Attack of the Clones. and it had an interesting part in it. Anakin, Darth Vader's mom, dies on screen, and my dad takes me to that movie, trying to cheer me up after my mom died. It's like, I know. I'll take him to that movie Star Wars, the one with the dancing teddy bears. He fucking loved that shit when he was 10. And there's a scene where Anakin is holding his mom as she's dying, and he's like, "Stay with me, Mom." And I'm just fucking bawling, like crying. And then her head just goes back like this. She goes, eh. And my dad stands up in the theater and goes, "Well, fuck me!" It was great. And I got to go back to school, and everyone at school talked about what a pussy Anakin was. So that was awesome. He's such a pussy, that guy, crying over his mom. I cry at weird points. I cry during certain movies. My mom listened to Alanis Morissette, so I cry when I hear Alanis Morissette, which is fucking weird. I confuse the hell out of feminists. They do not know where I'm coming from. I was like, is he an ally, or just like, what's going on here? I cried during The Dark Knight at the very end, that last little speech. And Jim Gordon's son is standing there, and he says, "Why do we have to chase him, Dad? He didn't do anything wrong." And my eyes start to well up. And then he says, "We're chasing him because he can take it." And then I just start to bawl, and I'm like, "Yeah, thanks, Christopher Nolan. Now I know I'm a fucking masochist with a victim mentality." So that's pretty sweet. I lost my virginity in an above-ground pool in Florida to the Daredevil soundtrack, and then the girls stole the soundtrack. All right, thank you very much, guys.
Kyle Adams, keep it going, and know that if you dress up as Batman, even if you dress up as Batman all the time, I'm not going to let you early. So that's also if you're talking about your mom dying.